The NCAA Softball Tournament moves to the Super Regionals this weekend. A hearty 9 teams from your favorite conference will be partaking in the festivities, including some SEC versus SEC matchups coming down the pipe. Here's all the info you need for this weekend's Super Regionals action. Thursday, Texas A&M ESPN2 WatchESPN FRIDAY Tennessee vs. Georgia, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPNU, WatchESPN Arkansas vs. Oklahoma, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN2, WatchESPN LSU vs. FSU, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPNU, WatchESPN Florida vs. Texas A&M ESPN2, WatchESPN Alabama vs. Washington, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPNU, WatchESPN South Carolina vs. ASU, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPNU, WatchESPN Oregon vs. Kentucky, 11 p.m. ESPN2, WatchESPN Saturday Oklahoma vs. Arkansas, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN, WatchESPN Georgia vs. Tennessee, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN, WatchESPN FSU vs. LSU, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN2, WatchESPN Texas A&M Florida, 5 p.m. ESPN, WatchESPN FNEC, Washington vs. Alabama, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN2, WatchESPN ASU vs. South Carolina, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN2, WatchESPN Kentucky vs. Oregon, 9 p.m. ESPN, WatchESPN FNEC, Sunday Arkansas vs. Oklahoma, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN, WatchESPN FNEC, LSU vs. FSU, 3 p.m. ESPNU, WatchESPN FNEC, Tennessee vs. Georgia, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN, WatchESPN FNEC, Alabama vs. Washington, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPNU, WatchESPN FNEC, South Carolina vs. ASU, 9 p.m. ESPNU, WatchESPN FNEC.